Her Shepherd King series sold more than 1 million copies, becoming both New York Times and USA Today bestsellers.
And let me just say, one TikTok user who got their hands on a pre-release copy of her newest gothic fantasy, The Night and the Moth, said, "Rachel Gillig, you cast a spell on me reading this book. Honestly, say no more. I know what I'm doing the rest of the week." This is very exciting.
Yes, it is. So we have the honor of having Rachel with us here in studio on her big release day. What an honor it is to have you in our presence.
It's so fun to be here. I'm just seeing kind of the finished copies right now too. I'm holding them in my hands. It just feels very, very special.
And it's a beautiful cover. I'm just so intrigued by just looking at it. So tell us a little bit about what The Night and the Moth is all about and what inspired you to write this.
Yeah, so The Night and the Moth, if you've read my previous works, or if you haven't, that's okay. But if you have, you'll be kind of familiarized with, it's a whimsical but gothic sort of fantasy. It's a made-up world. It's completely separate of my other previous works. And like my other stuff, though, there's a romance subplot. I love writing a romance. I love writing an adventure, and I like writing magic systems. So it was just kind of inspired by my love of folklore. This one, there's knights in it. There's like chivalric values. There's a lot of things that, like, if you're into Arthurian things, that you'll be familiarized with. But there's a religious system, and there's a big cathedral in there. There's just the gothic architecture that I really love, and the vibes.
So there's some stuff that has like a base already, but how do you do your research for something that you are essentially making up, which is it's beautiful?
Thank you. That's actually a really good question that I get a lot, because when nothing exists, how do you make it? I do tend to at least find like a geographical area that exists in our real world and try to at least build like landscape that really exists. So there's some Germanic aspects to it. So trees, things that grow congruently within our real world. That is the research that I do, weather patterns, architecture, and then like when I'm writing about armor, it's based off of real things, like that.
Like you have some stuff that you can grab onto. But.
Yeah, and for like magical creatures, there's just a lot of freedom. I don't know. I think that's why I love writing fantasy, because to do what I want.
You get to make it all of it.
No one's going to be mad at me for just like making it up.
And I know you're known for a lot of your very complex, emotional characters. How do you bring those to life? Like, what goes into making these characters who they are?
Those are one of my, I tend to call myself like a chaotic pantser, meaning like I don't plot too much ahead of time, but when it comes to my characters, I write them before, like I write a document for myself before I begin even drafting, where I have to know their background, I have to know their relationships with one another, and I kind of have to know the issue that they're going to be grappling with through the story. I want them to evolve as the story goes on. I do want them to be complex, because at the end, I think we all enjoy reading stories because they're human in a lot of ways. Like, this is very fantastical. You won't be having these experiences, but you are still a person. And so yeah, it's important for me for them to feel fleshed out.
I think it's just such an exciting time to be a reader right now, especially if you love romantasy, because it is having the best moment right now.
It really is.
What is it like to have? I mean, truly, readers are obsessed with getting their hands on the next copy, and you've kind of like been absorbed into all of that with your last series too. So what has that all been like?
Saying being absorbed into it is probably the most accurate, because when I wrote my debut book, One Dark Window, romantasy wasn't a word yet. It wasn't really like a genre definer. And publishing can be a matter of timing. And I was just very fortunate in that there was clearly, readers wanted this sort of story. And I created one as book talk was becoming, like, having its moment in the sun. The pandemic changed a lot of things, where people were talking more about books in online spaces, and they were talking about these sort of books. And I had one, and so I kind of rode the wave in a really, I feel very, very fortunate about it. It was unexpected.
Okay, so I have to ask one question.
Okay.
Big romance.
Okay, I love it.
I have all the questions.
So excited.
All right, so plot matters, characters matter, but as we know, if you follow Book Talk, they always put up their little peppers. So how many peppers would we give this one on?
For spice?
Yes.
Yes, great question. I have a hard time with spice, but I will compare it to my previous stuff, where I would say, just for a litmus of
1 to 5 peppers.
Yeah, my first ones is around the 1 pepper. I would say The Night and the Moth is 1.5 to 2 peppers.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
so we're sprinkling it in.
The pepper is escalating. It's getting spicier, but
So what are you most proud of in this particular work? What
Yeah.
do you think people will enjoy the most about this book?
I'm really proud of the world building in it. My previous work had a smaller world, and this one is much larger, more fleshed out. It took me more time, and there's a lot of trial and error when it comes to world building for me. So while this, in the drafting process, gave me many headaches, I'm so proud of how it ended up. So yeah, I think the world it lives in.
Not book related, but we wanted to ask you, since it's Beauty Buzz Week and
Yes.
we have the great pleasure of having you here today, do you have a favorite beauty product or routine that you could share with our audience?
I am a recent Tatcha convert, which is the Tatcha skincare line. There's quite a few, and it has basically taken over my entire skincare. Yeah. I have like my face wash, my lotion, and my toner, like all those things. I don't often wear a lot of makeup, but as I'm getting older, I'm just very interested in skincare and very invested in buying high quality products.
I know they have a really good primer that I've tried before. Yes.
We know
they do.
your event that you're here for, your book tour, is sold out today, but we were so happy that you were able to join us for a little bit to talk about the book.
It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful.
The Night and the Moth is on sale now. We'll link you up to Rachel and her newest book at kdka.com/talkpittsburgh.